Patriots fans, we are almost at 10,000 subscribers. Appreciate all the support we've gotten up to this point. And listen, what have we said? Once we get to 10K, that means we can do even more content for you guys here on this channel. So hit that subscribe button. It's free. More Patriots news, rumors, draft content, and a whole lot more. When I wake up tomorrow, I want that number to be past 10,000. So spread the word and hit that subscribe button. I'm Harrison Graham. You are watching Patriots Today by Chat Sports. And on this episode, we're going to react to ESPN's latest two-round mock draft. Field Yates, who is dove deeper, doesn't matter, into the NFL Draft world this year. He launched a two-round mock draft this morning, so we'll react to what the Patriots do. Now, before we get into that, it's pretty clear what the Patriots' needs are. They need quarterback, wide receiver, offensive tackle. I mean, those are the top needs. There's been a lot of chatter about trading down from 3. But what New England does here is they sit at 3 and they watch Caleb Williams go number 1 to Chicago, Jaden Daniels go number 2 to Washington, and then Drake Maye falls into their laps from North Carolina. And look, again, I hate to beat a dead horse here, but this would be a great outcome. If you have access to drafting Drake Maye without having to trade up to 2 potentially to do it, I think that is fantastic because for my money, and I get it, Jaden Daniels has played more football. Maybe he's a tick more polished in certain areas, but to me, Drake Maye is the second best QB prospect in this draft. And if you can get him as the third quarterback off the board, that is terrific value. Now, if you end up with Jaden Daniels, certainly not a bad thing. But I continue to push the narrative. If Drake Maye is there, that is as close to a no-brainer as it can possibly get. Now, his numbers may have tailed off a little bit last year in comparison to 2022. I think he probably pressed a little bit. Their defense was really struggling, so he was chasing points, big game hunting a little bit. He also didn't have great receivers and great protection last year. I thought it was a little bit better in 2022, but still plenty productive, still plenty good. The pros still outweigh the cons, but to revisit those, very strong arm, can make all the throws with the different arm angles, the arm strength. I think he's probably the most willing thrower of the football over the middle of the field, which not a lot of college quarterbacks do consistently. Jaden Daniels certainly doesn't. And he is an underrated athlete in scramble. He's a willing runner. Now, again, is he a careless decision maker at times? Yes. Could he slide more and take less hits? Yeah. Could the footwork clean up a little bit? Absolutely. And he does leave clean pockets too often, but his skill set and his frame and his ability to make all the throws is just too much to pass up. And look, I get it. I get the appeal of trading down. I think the Patriots should consider all options, but because they have so many holes to fill, especially offensively, and I don't view this as a one-year rebuild. Like, it's probably this offseason and next offseason, so 2025 and beyond, you're hoping to be a playoff contender. But to me, being in the top 3, having access to Drake Maye possibly, if he is the guy available, I think that's too good of an opportunity to pass up on, in my opinion. Now, could the Patriots trade down if they get a big enough offer? Yeah, they could. I think there's been enough chatter around that. But if it's me, if Drake Maye is there, I'm taking him. If it's Daniels, I'm open to either scenario. I would either take Daniels or trade down. But to me, Drake Maye is too good to pass up on if you are the Patriots. Make the call at number 3. What would you do if you want to just draft Drake Maye? Type DM for Drake Maye. If you would rather trade down and get more picks, get more assets for the future, type T for trade down. Pen comment on today's show. Let us know, Drake Maye or trade down at number 3. We'll continue with ESPN's two-round mock in just a moment. What will the Patriots do with that number 34 overall pick to pair with Drake Maye? But first, let's talk about today's sponsor. That is Game Time. You know what sucks? Not being able to get your tickets in an easy and timeless manner. Well, no longer. Game Time is going to make it easy and painless way to purchase your tickets, just hours and sometimes even minutes before an event starts. Maybe you want to go to a Celtics game last minute. Maybe you want to go check out the Red Sox or obviously the Patriots, once football season gets here, their specialty is last-minute tickets, flash deals, and zone deals. In the app, you'll see the best value tickets for every event coming up in real time. You'll also see the exact vantage point of any venue that you're attending and are able to access tickets through the Game Time app. What's awesome about Game Time is they offer the lowest price guaranteed. If you see the same seat in the same section on a different ticketing app and it's a lower price, you prove that to Game Time, they will lower the price on their app for you because they want you to get the best deal possible. So here's what I want you to do. Download the Game Time app right now, search Game Time in your app store, or click the link in the comments and description of this video. Use our code CHATSPORTS, all one word, CHATSPORTS. That's going to get you $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time. It's last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Link is in the comments and description. Use promo code CHATSPORTS. Get $20 off and start attending sporting events, concerts, comedy shows, and a whole lot more. All right, round 2, pick number 34 in this ESPN mock from Field Yates, Xavier Legette, the wide receiver out of South Carolina. Here's what Yates had to say on this selection. He said, new lead decision maker Elliott Wolf has talked about adding playmakers to the New England offense, and 6'1", 221 pounds, Legette would bring physicality and explosion. He had 1,255 yards last season and is an outstanding run after the catch player. You look at those numbers last year, absolutely fantastic. A big play machine at just under 18 yards per catch. He did have 7 touchdowns, only a couple of drops. And I think what's interesting here is, why did he come out of nowhere? You look at his college numbers, he had never touched 200 yards in a season before last year. Now, I'm not saying that's necessarily a red flag. It's just kind of surprising. You don't really see that, especially if it's a player that stays within the same program. Like sometimes you'll see a player go 3-4 years, transfer, then take off at a new school. He was at South Carolina the whole time, and then all of a sudden he's like a top 30, top 40 pick after his senior season, which is great for him because he was completely off the radar coming into this season. Now, this is kind of a dream, right? You get Drake Maye at number 3, who I think is the second best quarterback in this draft. Xavier Legette, a guy who could be worthy of going in the first round, falls too early, round 2. So you pair Drake Maye with a receiver that at least has wide receiver 2 potential in the NFL. I don't know if he can be a number 1, but maybe he could. And look, regardless, you need wide receiver help. KJ Osborne, like the player, not a number 2. Demario Douglas did some nice things as a rookie, but he's probably a number 3 slot type at best. Kendrick Bourne's coming off a torn ACL. So, sure, maybe you don't have a true number 1 in this scenario, but maybe you have 2 number 2s in Bourne and Legette, and then 2 number 3s in Osborne and Douglas. You could certainly do a whole lot worse, and you at least start to close the gaps of those holes you need to fill. And like Field Yates said, big and explosive, almost 6'2", 221 pounds, 40-inch vertical, broad jump of over 10 foot, ran a sub 4.4 in the 40. His 20 and 10-yard splits are very good as well. I mean, this guy is fantastic with the ball in his hands. That's why, you know, some people are calling it lazy because Deebo Samuel went to South Carolina as well, but he's getting some like Deebo Samuel with better route running type of comps. And look, if you get anything close to Deebo in the second round, I mean, that's pretty damn good value. And for the Patriots, this would be a good foundation to start your retooling offensively. You get your franchise quarterback, at least you hope you are, in Drake Maye. You're getting Xavier Legette, who has, you know, wide receiver 2, maybe even wide receiver 1 potential in the NFL. If the draft fell this way, I don't think you could ask for much more, especially if you don't trade down. Like in a non-trade down scenario in round 1 or round 2, Maye and Legette, sign me up. That's about as good as it gets. Grade this Patriots mock draft from ESPN, A, B, C, D, or F. Drop a letter grade down in the comments. And look, I'm reacting to someone else's mock. I don't owe Field Yates anything, but for New England, let's get to an A+. I love Maye at 3, and I think Legette is a guy that you could see go top 30, and you get him at 34. And they both fill huge positional needs in our premium positions. I love this mock draft. Patriots fans, I think you should be very excited if it falls this way. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's episode of Patriots Today by Chat Sports. My name is Harrison Graham. Hit that subscribe button. We're almost at 10,000 subs. If you like that mock draft, go ahead and subscribe.